everybody, my name is Nathan Garrison. I am the designer of a new solo fantasy roll and write dungeon crawler called Heroes of Norvath. I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the components, talk a little bit about the game, and then show you some gameplay. Alright, I'm going to start by walking you through some of the components. This is our dungeon map. It starts out with our cave entrance tile. Nothing really happens in this, but that we only have one place we can go from it. We go into this random event tile. There's several of those around the board. 6 different possible events that can happen when you reach those. This is a monster tile. Anytime you reach one of these monster tiles, you will also roll to see which of 6 monsters you will have to battle. When you see these tiles, those are the opportunity to learn a skill or a spell and upgrade your character. You can also potentially upgrade your character through finding an item in one of these random events. This is a chance to rest before you finish off your battle and end up facing the boss. This is, there's only one tile where you can rest, and there are a number of options that can happen there. Some very good, some not helpful at all, and one at least that can be pretty bad. This is a minion. So a minion is a special enemy that you can find different times throughout the game in random events or potentially even in the rest area. But you definitely face the minion at least once. The minion is an enemy that is associated closely with the boss, and then this is our boss tile. So we're going to find our way around this map in an attempt to defeat the boss and save Norvath. We have 4 heroes that we're going to work with here. This is our hero board. Each hero has 2 skills or spells that they start the game with. So in this case, Malachi, our fighter, he has 8 hit points. He starts out with these 2 skills. He has the opportunity to learn one of these 3 skills and potentially to find this item throughout the game. Each character has that same thing, 2 skills that they can use. From the beginning of the game, the possibility of learning one of 3 skills or spells as the game goes on, and then the chance to find an item that is a single-use item. Then you have these 3 party abilities that are available as well. Once you have XP gained through defeating monsters, you do have the opportunity to potentially use XP to help you in battles. You also have, this is in dire circumstances, you may have the opportunity to use this to re-roll all 6 dice if you end up with a roll that really has nothing for you. And this one can be used once. We talked about the minions before. If you come up on a minion and it puts you in a spot where you're unable to deal with that minion, you do have the chance once per game to skip out on that minion and escape that potential battle. So we talked about the monster battles. This is what those look like. They are puzzles with your dice. So you're going to have a number of things that happen here. You have some that are very specific dice, like on this one here, you're going to get a 1 on a die to fill that in. You're going to get a 3 to fill that in, a 5 to fill that in, etc. Up here, we have this number plus, and then an equals with a 15 in it. So the 4 of these circles, or the 4 of these around the circle, must add up to 15. Here it's 17. You have a number sign, so you get to choose the die that goes in that area, and then you have to have 3 more dice that equal that number. Here you have a number, and then that number is greater than or equal to the next one, which is greater than or equal to the next one, greater than or equal to the next one. So that's kind of the way that this works down here, and that happens with 2 different ones. Okay. So we have 6 different monsters that you might face. And then you also have the boss, which is our vampire king, and the minion, which is the vampire bats. So I'll talk a little bit more about the monsters in the gameplay portion of the video. But just so you know, each monster board does tell you all of them right now hit on a 5 or a 6, and their special ability triggers with whatever it says that happens next to those words. Special ability, Relentless Assault, so the kobold can reroll one unsuccessful attack die during each of its attack turns, so it gets one more chance to try to hurt you. And then the goblin is able to attack before your first attack, so he actually kind of has initiative or whatever and is able to sneak up on you and attack you first. There's one more set of boards here. This is a reference chart. Whenever you reach one of these random events or monster tiles or the rest area, you're going to roll a die and check this chart to see what happens there. So you could end up with healing springs where you gain some healing, dart trap, a mysterious potion that either hurts or heals you. So lots of options there. And then same for the monsters down here or for the rest actions. Okay, so those are the components. You also will need a pencil and eraser, or in my case, this is laminated, and I'm going to be using a dry erase marker with an eraser on it, so I will be able to go through and make any changes that I need to throughout the game. I'll kind of explain how that works as we play. You will also need 6 dice. There is a way that you can play it if you have way more than 6 dice, where if you have maybe 20, 24, 25 dice, you can conceivably use those and then actually place them on the monster board to fill in the dice if you would like to do it as more of a dice placement as opposed to just marking off the spots. So I know that some people might prefer that variation on the play style. Okay, so here in a second, we're going to get started on a gameplay video so that you can see how everything works in action. Okay, now it is time to play a little Heroes of Norvath. So I'm going to start out by circling my cave entrance tile, crossing it off to say that I just came into the cave with my party. We are about to embark on our adventure. All right, going into this random event tile, I'm going to roll a die. I get a 5, so now I need to check my random event chart, and it says that I discover an item. Okay, so whenever I discover an item, I go to my upgrade chart. I have my acquiring items portion here, and I'm going to roll 1 die, or 2 die, to fill these in and find our answers here. So I got a 3 and a 6. So that's going to give me 2 choices here. So I'm going to be able to either use the 3 to get a physical item, which would mean that it belongs to either Malachi or Eleanor, so the Ring of Life or Smoke Bomb, or I can use 6 to get a magic scroll, which would give me magic either usable by Lilith or Sarlamir. So if I use this 6, then the 3 is going to tell me that my only option is the wizard, the scroll of mirror image, reroll all successful enemy attack dice this turn. So that gives me a chance in a really bad turn against an enemy to reroll their successful dice and maybe take less damage. So that's pretty good. Or if I switch it around and put the 3 in the first spot and the 6 in the second, then that would mean that I would get the Smoke Bomb, which allows me to just entirely skip 1 enemy attack turn. I think I'm going to this time choose to take a magic scroll for the wizard and take that scroll of mirror image. So I now have that to use 1 time during the game. All right, so I'm going to set my upgrade board over here again out of the way and move on. So I'm going to write here, scroll of mirror image, so that I remember what happened on my journey. All right, so now let's, I have a choice to either go to this monster tile, this random event tile, or this monster tile. I'm going to go ahead and jump into a monster tile. So we'll roll to see what monster we have to face. We got a 1. 1 is the Goblin Assassin. All right, so the Goblin Assassin, we looked at him just a little bit earlier. And so we've got these puzzles here to deal with at the top. He's going to hit on 5 or 6, and his special ability is that sneak attack where he gets to attack before my first attack. All right, so let's go ahead and roll him over here. I'm going to write Goblin here so that I remember who I dealt with. And now he gets to attack first. So I'm going to roll 6 dice here. He got a 1, a 3, a 3, a 2, and 2 more 1s. He did not hit me at all. That's fantastic. I got off to a great start here. So now let's see what my heroes can do. All right, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, and 6. Okay, so with a 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, and 6, I can go through and try to figure out what options I have here. So since I have 2 of the same number here, I'm going to go ahead and use them here. So I'm going to take 2 4s there. I actually think that I want to use Brute Force. That is Malachi's ability to add 1 to a single die. So I've now used that in this battle. I mark it off. I cannot use it again, but I get to make this 3 into a 4. And I get to mark off this 4 as well. So now I need to decide what I want to do. I'm going to go ahead and put a 6 up here because 17 is going to take a couple of 6s to get to potentially. So a 6 is going to help me get there faster. And then I have this 2 and this 3. I'm actually going to use Magic Weapon from Sarlamir, my cleric, which allows me to change this 3 into a 4. And now I've got all 4 of those taken care of. And I've just got this 2. You know what? I'm going to use Lilith's Transfiguration, which allows me to change 1 die to the same as any other die played this round. And I'm going to use it to get a 6 here. So now I've got 12 there. I only need to get 5 more to reach that 17. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what happens the next time that the goblin attacks me. Okay, this time he did a little more damage. He got a 5 and a 6. The 2 and all the 4s are not going to have any impact on me. But now I have 2 damage, so I can choose where to put that damage. Do I want Malachi to take all of it? Maybe, you know, he's sort of acting as a tank. He's got more hit points than anybody else. He has 8. Eleanor and Sarlamir each with 4, and then Lilith with only 2. So I think that's what I'm going to do for right now. Malachi takes 2 damage, and we move on to the hero's next attack turn. So I've still got these 2 puzzles to fill, so a number greater than or equal to all the way down on both sides here, and then 2 more of those equaling 5 to get to 17. All right, so let's see what my options are. I am going to take the 6, and then maybe a 5 and 2 4s here. Or let's do a 5, a 4, and a 2. And then I'm going to do a 6 and a 4 here. And that's going to get most of this portion of the puzzle filled in. So 6, 5, 4, 2. So that one is done. And then 6 and 4. So hopefully on the next turn, I can fill in these 2 boxes and these 2 boxes and be done. So here I left myself plenty of room to get equal to or less than that 4. All right. Wow, the goblin did no damage to me again. He's just kind of flailing out there and has not hurt me very much yet. Okay, so now what can I do? All right, so this is not quite what I had hoped for, is it? I've got a 2 and a 1, another 1, so I can go in and do this, and this 2 and 1 will finish off this portion of my puzzle. but I still have to get 5 out of these two. So, all right, I guess I'm going to use a 1 here, meaning I need to get a 4 there. But I have this 6, 6, and 5. So now I'm going to go ahead and re-roll one of them and hope that I get a 4. So I'm going to re-roll a 6. I got a 1. That is not helpful. So now my 6 and 5. You know what? I am going to roll 1 for healing. So Sarlamir can heal. You spend 1 die, and you can heal anywhere from 1 to 3, depending on what you roll in it. So I'm going to roll my 6, and I rolled a 3. So that 3 means that I get to heal 2. Perfect. I only had 2 to heal. So I erase those 2 damage marks, and I have this 5 left. So the 5 I'm actually going to use as kind of a finishing move on this goblin. I'm going to use Set a Trap. So Set a Trap for Eleanor works like this. I'm going to spend this die so that the first damage done by the enemy this turn allows me to choose 1 enemy box to fill. I've just got 1 left there. I know it needs to be a 4, so I can put a 4 in there if the enemy does any damage to me on this next turn. All right, so here rolls the enemy, 2 5s, 2 6s. So the good news is, despite his really kind of brutal turn, he's going to do 1 damage to me, so I'm going to mark that off on Malachi again. After he healed, he's back to having a little damage. But after the first damage, immediately I get to, that trap goes off. I roll this 4, the rest of this damage is canceled out, and I have just defeated my first monster. The goblin is dead. All right, so we're going to go in and erase all of the goblin puzzle here. I may end up having to face him again. We shall see. All right, I'm also going to erase all the marks here because all of those are usable again next turn. The only one I'm not erasing is the damage. Okay, so the goblin, I beat him. I'm going to mark off this XP to say that I gained it, and I'm going to move on. So I'm going to go ahead and move in here and learn a new skill or spell. So this is going to cost that XP that I just made. I'm going to go ahead and cross that out because I am using these 3 dice to determine what skill or spell I learned. So a 2, a 4, and a 6. All right, so I have a few options here for how I want to do this. I think looking at my skills and spells and what I want to do here, I think I am going to use this 2. No, I'm going to use this 4, and that's going to give me a spell. And I am going to use the 2 to choose the wizard, and the 6 to choose the bottom the bottom spell. So the bottom spell is chaos magic. So I'm going to be able to, if I roll 6 dice that I don't like, they don't help me as much as I want, then I'm going to be able to spend 1 of those to re-roll all 5 of the others and give myself a chance to have a better roll against an upcoming monster. All right, so I'm going to write here chaos magic. And I'm going to move on. So now my hero is doing pretty well. I could just go ahead and go to my next monster. I don't have much damage. I think I am going to go ahead and do that because I'm pretty healthy. Might as well take on a monster while I am doing well. All right, so let's see what monster I have to face. Number 3. All right, so number 3 on the monster chart is the giant scorpion. Let's go to his board. So the giant scorpion has several puzzles here that I'm going to have to solve again, similar to the last one. Special ability, though, so it hits on 5 or 6. Every time the giant scorpion rolls a 1, a hero is stunned for 2 turns. Stunned heroes cannot use skills, abilities, or items. So I get to choose what hero is stunned. But if all 4 heroes are stunned at the same time, the hero attack is canceled, and the giant scorpion attacks again, not allowing me to attack between. Stuns do not stack, though. Each hero can only be stunned for a maximum of 2 turns at any given time, Once the stun wears off, that hero can be stunned again. So it lasts through the hero and villain turn, just so that you know. So we'll see if that comes into play. So I'm going to write Scorpion here so I know what happened. All right, so let's go ahead and attack the Scorpion with our heroes. All right, I got 3 2s, a 4, a 5, and a 6. Okay, so one of the 2s can go right here, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. The 4 can go right here, so that's 2 of them. Let's see. I can go ahead and use a 6 and a 5 here. Now, I have these 2 2s. I gotta decide what I want to do to them. I could either change them to other numbers, or I could use them in the tail part of the puzzle. So this is, you choose a number, and then it's either less than or equal to. So I could actually use both of my 2s in the tail there and get started on that process. All right, now it's the Scorpion's turn to attack me. Oh, sorry, I missed one of my dice there. All right. Oh, all right, so there's a 1, so I have to choose a hero to be stunned. So I am going to choose Lilith. So I will write stun, and I'll have to mark down when she's stunned in a minute. Also, though, 2 6s, so I have to take 2 damage. So I'm going to, again, give both of those to Malachi, just until he gets a little closer to everybody else. And I've got to go at it again. So remember, now I can't use Transfiguration, Weaken Enemy, or Chaos Magic on this on the next 2 turns because she is stunned. All right, so now I've got a 2, a 3, 3 4s, and a 5. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use a 2 and a 4 here so that I can knock out the tail. I'm going to use this 3 right here. And now I've got to figure out, all right, I think I'm going to use 2 4s here in his head. And now I'm going to come over here. I'm going to use Brute Force to raise this to a 6 and get close to taking out that pincer. All right, so we've got him pretty well taken care of. That's now stun turn 1 that we're through. We've still got the enemy turn on turn 1, but we have made it most of the way through. Now this is pretty rough. The Scorpion has now hit me for 4 damage. So that's going to hurt. I'm going to go ahead and take 2 more damage there. 1 for Eleanor and 1 for Sarlamir. Kind of spread it around a little bit. So now 3 of my heroes have 3 health, and 1 of them still has 2. Okay, so that's the end of the first round of stun. Now I'm going to go in and try to finish this guy off if I can. Okay. All right, so I don't have quite what I need to finish him off, but I do have the 6 that I can use Magic Weapon to flip to the other side and finish off one of those 1s. I have 2 4s that I can use to finish off the head. And now I have a 3, a 5, and a 5. So I think I need to heal. So I'm going to use a 5. I'm going to use one of these 5s for healing. I rolled a 6. When you roll 6, you get to heal 3, so that's fantastic. So I'm going to erase Eleanor and Sarlamir and 1 of Malachi's damage. So Sarlamir with a great healing spell there. And so now I still have some dice that I can't really do much with. I'm going to actually do the same thing again. I'm going to use this 5 to set a trap. Actually, let me re-roll this 3 here. So I got a 2, did not quite get what I needed. So I have my 5. I'm going to set a trap, and I know that the next damage done by the Scorpion is going to go ahead and finish him off. Okay, so here comes the Scorpion, and he does 1 damage. he would have stunned all of my characters, but this trap was already in place. So that's an important thing to know. He does do 1 damage to Malachi, but I do this damage, and the Scorpion is taken care of. Mark my XP here. All right, so now I'm going to go through and erase my Scorpion monster board. I had pretty good success there, withstood a couple of tough blows, and I am able to move on in my dungeon. So let's go ahead and get rid of these. The stun did not hurt us too badly there. It would have been rough if he had stunned all 3 other characters at the end of that one and I only had Lilith. So I'm glad that I was able to take him out there. All right, since I've got that XP, I'm going to go ahead up here, try to learn my next skill or spell. Okay, so I'm still going to roll 3 skills because I still have both choices, or all the choices to make here. So I've got a 3, a 6, and a 5. So I actually think I know what I want to do. I want to use the 5 to learn another spell. So next time, I'm only going to roll 2 dice because I can only learn a skill. And then I'm going to use the 6 to choose Sarlamir the Cleric, and the 3 to choose the middle skill, so I've got Advanced Healing. So now I can spend 2 dice, and then whatever I roll with those 2 dice, half of the combined dice roll rounded up is how much I get to heal my party on that turn. So that's going to be pretty helpful, and I will hang on to that for use potentially in our next battle. Okay, so I'm going to write here Advanced Healing. And I'm going to mark off that XP. Okay, so now I have some options. I can kind of cut across here. I can go straight to the boss. I'm going to go ahead and try to get as much of this board in as I can to show you as much game as possible. So I'm going to this random event. Let's see what happens. That's a 5. All right, another item. This is, I'm getting a lot of opportunities here to get some items. So let's go this here. So I still need to roll both because both choices need to be made. I got a 6 and a 2. So I cannot use it as 6 and 2 because that has already been taken. So I can do 2 and 6, which means that I get a physical item, and it is the Rogue. So Eleanor is going to discover the smoke bomb, allowing me once during the game to skip an enemy attack turn. All right, so I'm going to write here smoke bomb. We've been getting some pretty good luck so far with learning finding 2 items already. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll move into this spot here. All right, 4. Okay, so now we go to our reference sheet, and our random event 4, you move cautiously through the chamber and find nothing. So nothing happens to us there. We're going to move on, and I'm going to go ahead and go to this rest action here. Hey, this random event here. I am getting really fortunate. I'm discovering another item. And so with this item, I rolled a 3. So now I get to choose whether I want the physical item, which would be for the fighter, or the scroll. No, I get to choose, I get the physical item for the fighter because 3 works for either one. So now I'm going to get the Ring of Life. Ring of Life is a nice little item where one time during the game, if the fighter would suffer a fatal attack, the ring breaks and the fighter lives, regaining 2 HP. So it negates the first possible death by our fighter Malachi. All right, so Ring of Life. I don't know that I've ever gotten all 3 items out of 4 random event tiles. That's pretty quick picking those items up. So this game is going pretty well. I feel pretty good about our chances here. All right, let's go ahead and go into this monster tile. I know I could use some more help, but I'm not getting any yet. So let's see what monster I'm going to have to face. All right, number 4. Okay, so number 4 is going to be our giant spider. All right, so here is our giant spider. He's coming to attack. A giant spider hits on 5 or 6, and he has a web trap ability. So a web trap, if he rolls double 4s, then one party member is trapped the rest of the battle. If he rolls double 4s 4 times, then you lose. If he rolls it once or twice, the characters who are web trapped cannot use any skills or items or spells for the remainder of that battle. They can take damage, they can be healed, but they cannot do anything to contribute to the battle. All right, so let's see what happens here as I take them on. So I got a 2, 3, 3, 5, 6, 6. Okay, so I've got these 2 6s here. I'm going to go ahead and cross those out. And I got 2 3s, so I'm going to cross these 2 3s out. And then a 5 and a 2. All right, so I did 6 damage to the spider. Let's see what he does to me. Yikes. Okay, so he did 3 damage to my party very quickly. So let's go ahead and I'm going to take 1 for Eleanor, 1 for Sarlamir, and 1 more for Malachi. So no web traps, but he did do a good amount of damage on that first turn. Okay, so 2, 2, 3, 3, 5, and 6. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use my 5 here. And I'm going to use these 2 3s down here. And a 2 right here. But I still have a 2 and a 6 left. I don't have any 2s or 6 on here. I could use some abilities to maybe deal with that, but I'm going to go ahead and use advanced healing. Roll 2 dice. I got a 9, so 9, half of 9 is 4.5. You round up, so I get to heal 5, so that is massive. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so I am still alive and kicking. All right, let's see what our spider does to us here. Okay, so still no web traps. He did do 2 damage. So Malachi gets hit again here. He's back down to 3 HP, but we're still doing all right. Let's go ahead and try to attack him again. Okay, so this time I've got 2 5s, so I can finish off the 5s down here on these front legs. Get those out of the way. I've got a 4, so I can take care of that 4. And then I have a 1, a 2, and a 6. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to use Transfiguration from Lilith to change the 1 to a 4, meaning that I get to finish off 1 more there. Now I have the 2 and the 6. I can't, a lot of what I have here is not going to help me get that. So why don't I re-roll 1 die? So I'm going to re-roll the 6 and see what I get. I got a 5, not helpful. So now I've got my 2. I'm going to use it to weaken the enemy. So now I'm going to spin this die, and I rolled a 1, so that means that the spider gets 1 less die to attack with this turn. So I'm going to take this, put it aside, and roll with 5 dice. Okay, so 1, 2, 2, 4, 6, and that 6 is going to do damage. So Eleanor is going to take 1 damage here, and I'm going to come back and attack again. All right, I got what I needed here, but I'm going to heal first. I still have 1 basic healing, so I'm going to roll this. I got a 1. That allows me to heal 1 HP. And then I'm going to use these 2 4s right here to finish off the spider. All right, so let's go through and take care of this. So I'm going to erase all of these again. And I am going to clear off the monster board. And come back over here to my dungeon map. So here I had the spider. I beat him. I got my XP. I'm going to go to a random event tile. Okay, random event number 2. So that is a dart trap. There's a dart trap set up in here, and I need to find a way to combat that. So if I roll a 1, it doesn't hit me. 2 to 5, I lose 2 HP, so it gets me pretty good. A 6, I lose 1 HP. I got a 3, that's going to be 2 HP that I lose there. So I'm going to go ahead and give Eleanor and Sarlamere 1 damage. All right, dart trap here. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and go to another random event tile. A 6. All right, so this is bad news. I'm attacked by a minion, so I have to complete that combat. So that's an unexpected battle that I have coming up here. So I told you about the minion earlier, and here it is. So our minion is the vampire bats right here. And these vampire bats they hit on 5 or 6, but their special ability is Overwhelm. There are 5 of them. It triggers every even-numbered turn, so you keep track of your turns here. And when there are 4 or 5 living vampire bats, at the end of an even-numbered turn, you deal 3 additional damage to your party. When there are 3 living vampire bats at the end of an even-numbered turn, deal 2 additional damage. And when there are 2 living vampire bats at the end of an even-numbered turn, deal 1 additional damage to your party. So every one of them, you choose a number and have to find 2 more dice that equal that number. So we're going to try to get rid of as many of these as quickly as possible because we don't want to deal with his ability there. Okay, so we've got 3 5s, 1 1, and 6. So I'm going to go ahead and use the 3 5s to take one of these guys out completely. So I'm going to write 5s there. And then I am going to use Sarlamere's magic weapon, flip this to a 1. And I've already made Overwhelm not nearly as bad because the most damage that he can do to me is 2 extra damage instead of the 3 that he could do if all 5 or 4 of them were living. So now the vampire bat is going to come in and attack. And he hit me for 2, a 5 and a 6. So I guess I'm just going to take that damage here. Malachi will take 1 and Eleanor will take 1. And we'll see what happens here. All right, 1, 2, 3, 5, 5, 6. So that is not ideal. Let's see. I can use Lilith's Transfiguration and change this 6 to a 5. So now I've got 3 5s. I'm down to 2 vampire bats, which means that now the worst that he can do to me is 2 extra damage after this next turn. Now I have a 1, a 2, and a 3. You know what? I am in some trouble here, so I'm going to go ahead and use these 2. So that's 5, so I get to heal 3. So I'm going to go ahead and heal Eleanor and Sarlamere completely. And now I think I am going to actually, because I know I'm going to take 1 extra damage next time, I'm going to go ahead and place a 3 here. I'm going to go ahead and just start this next vampire bat. Okay, so now the bat's ready to attack. And the vampire bat did a ton of damage to me. 3 damage plus the 1 that's going to happen from here. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and take that. And now I've got quite a bit of damage that I've got to deal with. So I'm going to have to figure out how to mitigate that later. All right, so now I'm going to attack the bats, see if I can get rid of them here. I've got a 3, I've got a 2. I'm going to go ahead and change that to a 3 with brute force. And then I've got 2 6s here, so I'm gonna use those 2 6s to fill that in. I'm gonna use a 4 to roll for healing. Unfortunately, I only healed 1, so Sarlamir is down to 1 damage, and I have this 2 left here. So you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and set a trap with this 2, so that when he does his damage, he is done. So if he does any damage to me, he is done. So notice I marked off that second counter. That was when he did the extra damage to me. All right, he does do 1 damage to me with this 5, and then he is done. So I'm gonna mark that damage back on Sarlamir again and clear off the minion board. So the minion was a pretty rough battle. Did quite a bit of damage to me, and now my heroes are kind of limping a little bit. But the good news is I gained another XP, and I'm gonna get to see what I do next here. So let's go in and see if we can figure out a way to solve this problem that I've got going on here. Okay, so that was a minion. I'm gonna write that there, and let's see, I'm gonna write down that I faced 1 minion so far. You know what, I'm gonna do it this way, because the minions will factor into final scoring if we do end up winning the game. All right, so minion, I'm just gonna put a 1 there to say that I've hit that marker. Okay, so I beat that minion. I don't really want to go down here, and if I go here, I can't go here, because then I'd be blocked in, and I would be lost in the cave forever. So because of my health, well, you know what? I might go in and try to just heal a ton at the beginning. So why don't we see what we have here? Let's see what. Okay, not ideal. We get the Goblin Assassin. All right, I need to pause for just a second, and then I will be right back. Okay, so we're going to write Goblin here. And I did not want the Goblin because I wanted to use my first turn to heal twice and try to just get back as much health as possible. But instead, the Goblin gets to attack first and is going to do some damage here. Oof, okay, so the Goblin hit me for 3. I think I am going to actually use my scroll of mirror image and re-roll those 3 dice. Okay, now he hit me for 1. All right, so I will take that 1 damage here from Malachi and move on to the hero turn. Okay, let's see. Well, all right, so I'm gonna use these 2 dice, roll them. Oh my goodness, I just rolled a 12. Okay, so that is beautiful for advanced healing, because that means that I get to heal 6. So I'm gonna heal all 4 off of Sarlamir and Eleanor, and then 2 off of Malachi. And then I am going to actually just use these 4 1s to go across the middle of the Goblin's body here and do 4 damage to him. So that could not have gone better for me there. So let's see about this Goblin Assassin. So that Scroll of Mirror Image, remember, it's a one-time use item, so I don't get to do that again during this game. Okay, so the Goblin Assassin, it really has it out for me this time. A 6, a 5, and a 5. So that's 3 damage. I'm going to do 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. All right, now time to do a bunch of damage to this guy myself here. Okay, so I'm actually going to just take out this top puzzle with a 5, a 5, a 5, and a 2. So that part of the puzzle is done. Now I just have the bottom portions. I'm going to use this 1 to roll for healing, and I get to heal 1. So not great, but still helpful. All right, and now this 2, I am going to use Magic Weapon and flip it to its opposite side because I need numbers that are greater than or equal to, so that'll help me out there. Okay, let's see what the goblin does this turn. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, the goblin did not hit me at all this turn. So now I get a chance to kind of do some work. Okay, so I've got a 3, and a 2. No, a 3, a 3, and a 2. So that will finish off that leg. And then I've got 3 3s here, which I could just use there. So he's got 1 left. He's got 1 more chance to do some damage, and boy, did he. Holy moly, this goblin. All right. So he rolled 4 6s, meaning that he did 4 damage to me. So 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna go ahead and do 1 damage to Lilith here. Okay, so all I have to do is roll a 3, a 2, or a 1, and I beat him. And there it is. I'll just put a 3 there, greater than or equal to, and he's done. So that hurt. It was pretty rough for me. And I'm gonna have to find some healing, and that's not gonna happen easily. So, because I've got to go to an item or a skill or spell, and then I've got to go to another monster. So those are the next 2 things that are going to happen here. All right, so I gain another XP for beating that goblin. Go over here, go to my upgrade chart. Remember, I'm only going to roll 2 dice because one of these decisions needs to be made, and then that one. So a 1 and a 1. So what that means is I only have the option of a skill, and it'll be the fighter, because both of those are 1s. I can't get the rogue, so it's going to be a skill, and it's going to be the top skill, so I've got hold the line. So that could have come in handy on my last fight. Hold the line is spend any number of dice from your next attack turn, so canceling out your future dice to cancel that much damage in your current enemy attack. So when he did those massive attack turns to me, I could have done less damage in my next turn, but negated a lot of that damage. So I'm going to mark off my skill and my fighter. So the next thing that's going to happen, my last skill, will be a rogue skill, and we'll see which one it is. So on that one, I'm only going to roll 1 die when I get there. Okay, so this was hold the line. And I got to go to this next monster. All right, I'm going to cross off 1 XP as well. All right, so that is monster number 5. We haven't seen that monster yet today. That is the zombie. So the zombie, we're in an interesting place with the zombie, because the zombie, if he kills any of my heroes, they become zombified heroes, and I also have to kill them in order to move forward. So that's a little rough, but I am going to roll and get started. So I've got a bunch of things here, and I'm going to use a 2 and a 3. Well, let's see, what do I want to use? I'm going to use 2 6s and roll for advanced healing. Let's hope I get 2 more 6s. Amen. Okay, I got 2 more 6s. That's 4, 5, and 6. So that is incredible. Oh, no, that stays on there. Sorry. All right. That, once again, amazing luck with my health recovery there. So I'm going to face this zombie. I still have a 2, a 3, a 3, and a 5. So I'm going to go ahead and take out a 2 and a 3. So it's like that. I usually just like to cross it out. All right, and then I have a 3 and a 5. I will take the 3 and do this. I'm going to actually use this 5 to use my basic healing, just get all the healing I can. Amazing, 3 more healing. That is the maximum amount of healing I could have ever hoped for, and I got all of it when I most needed it. Okay, so now the zombie's gonna come and try and make me not feel the effects of that so much. And here we go. He gets 1 damage on me with that 6 there, so Malachi is back to 3 damage. Okay. Let's see what I can do to him. All right, I've got 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, and 4. Okay, so my 1 there. I've got a 4 here, so I'm going to take that out. I've got another 4, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, I'm going to use 2 3s here on the middle, the number and the equals. I've got this 2. I'm going to go ahead and use brute force to take out another 3. Okay, now we've done some good damage to the zombie. Let's see what else we can do here. The zombie did not hit me this time. He mindlessly kind of swung at me and missed. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so I'm going to use the 5 and the 6 here to take out those 2. I'm going to use the 3 to do that. Okay, so now I've got a 4, a 2, and a 1. So that's 7. So I'm going to do 4, 2, and 1. And all I need is a 2 in order to beat this zombie next turn around. So let's see what he does to me here. He hit me for 3. All right, so I got to take some damage here. And let's see if I can get that 2 I need to equal 9. There it is, 2. All right, zombie is dead. Okay, so I was able to beat the zombie, regain some of my health. I would say, all in all, that was a very beneficial battle. So I gained another XP. I'll use some of this XP a little bit later. Okay, we are going to go ahead and move up here to get our final item. So on the upgrade board, I'm going to roll 1 die. It's a 5. So what I'm going to do is take the 3rd, because 5, 6 is the 3rd one here. I already know that it's a skill. I know that it's the rogue. So it is the bottom one, the flurry of blades. Spend 2 dice to add or subtract 1 from the value of 2 other dice. All right, so flurry of blades. All right, so since we're almost at the end here, I'm going to go ahead and I need to spend an XP there, sorry, and do this random event. That's a 1. Okay, so random event number 1 is your party comes across to healing springs. You drink the water and heal up to 4 combined HP. So that's fantastic. So I'm going to write healing springs. And I'm going to heal 1, 2, 3, 4 HP. So now I'm in really good shape here, coming into the end of our game. Healing springs again. That's not common, but it can happen. So now I'm really fortunate because I get to be completely healed going into my rest area here. Let's see what happens in the rest area. Sorry. All right, I got a 1. My party is unable to settle their nerves, no positive or negative effects. So nothing happens there. Nothing. All right, cross that out, and I go to a minion battle. So I'm almost to the end here. And this will be my final battle. My final two battles, the minion. If I can beat him, I take on the boss, and I will get to that here in just a second. Okay, let's go ahead and start our minion battle here. So pull up the minions. Okay, here we go. So remember, hits on 5 or 6 and the overwhelm, where the more of them that are alive at the end of turn 2, the worse it is for me. All right, so not a bad start here. I got 3 4s, so I get to take out one of those pesky bats. And now I've got 2 2s and a 4. So I'm going to use a 2 and a 2. And then I'm going to use Transfiguration to change that 4 to a 2. And now 2 bats are down. Okay, let's see. So the bat, I got pretty lucky there. The bat did not hit me at all. They were flying around and could not quite make contact to hurt me. All right, so now I've got 3 3s, 2 4s, and a 1. So this is going really well. I'm already down to 2 bats. I've got 2 4s and a 1. Is there any way to get that 1 switched over? Let's see. There is not, but what I'm going to do with that 1 is I am going to re-roll it with my flexible approach through Eleanor. And I got a 3. Now, this is important. I am not able to re-manipulate this die after I rolled it, so I can't also do brute force to add 1 and turn it into a 4. So I am going to go ahead and just put a 3 here and do that. So let's see. Now it is his second turn. Oh, okay. So he just did 3 damage to me, and he gets to do 1 more through overwhelm. So that would be 4 damage. I am actually going to use hold the line, and I'm going to spend 4 of my dice from my next turn to cancel all 4 of those damage. Okay, so I only get to roll 2 dice this turn, and I rolled a 2 and a 3. So I'm going to use brute force and turn this to a 3. So now I've taken out both of those. I've got 1 die or 1 damage left to do. All right, so let's see. Okay, so he is now going to do a lot of damage to me. Wow, too bad I don't have hold the line anymore, right? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 damage coming my way. I'm going to give them all to Malachi. And that was pretty brutal. Now I need to roll a 4. Oh, I got that. I'm going to roll a 4, and I have a 1, 2, 3, 2, 5, and 6. All right, so I do have magic weapon that I can use to turn that to a 4. But first, I'm going to use advanced healing. I rolled a 5, so I get to heal 3. And that takes Malachi back to 1 damage. All right. So now I'm going to use magic weapon, turn this into a 4, and there we go. We beat the minion, and we've got 1 battle left, and it will be against the dreaded Vampire King. So let me erase these, and I'll move over and take care of some housekeeping here. I'm going to add in 1 more XP here. So I've got 3 XP, so I can use those for my party ability later potentially. And I've got to talk to you about our lovely little Vampire King. So he hits on 5 or 6, but his special ability is Life Drain. He's able to take life from you when he does damage to you and refill his health. So every turn in which the Vampire King deals at least 1 damage, he heals 1 HP box. You get to choose the box to be healed. This ability takes place immediately after the first damage has been dealt. So we move that out of there and up to here. Okay. So I'm going to start off against, he's got a few more hitboxes, so he's already tougher. Let's see what we can do against this Vampire King. All right, 6, 6, 1, 2, 4, 4. All right, so I've got 2 of these 6s. I've got a 1. I've got 2, 4, and 4. So I'm going to put a 4 here, a 4 here. And this 1 is gone. I'm going to put a 2 up here. And then I'm going to need to get 4 more with those 3 boxes. All right. Now the Vampire King is going to attack me. And he does 2 damage to me, which means that he gets to heal 1. So there's 1 damage. He's going to heal this 2. And then he does another damage to me. All right. So here we go. Go back in and try to attack again. All right, I'm going to finish off this line with the 6 and this 1. Those are out of the way. I've got a 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so I can put another 4 here. I can use brute force to make another 4. Now I've got a 2 and a 5. Let's see. All right, I'm going to Transfiguration. I'm going to change this 2 to a 4. No, I'm going to change the 5 to a 4. And I'm going to put a 2 up here again. All right, so we're making pretty good work here. And the vampire actually does not hit us. So that's remarkable. That is very lucky. And we are really doing well here. All right, so now I've got a 1, a 2, 2 4s, a 5, and a 6. So I'm going to do a 1 and a 2 there to give me 4, 5. So I'm going to need to fill 1 more there with a 1 to give me 6. And then I need to fill these. So what can I do? Spend 2 dice to add or subtract. So right now that's not going to help me. I'm going to fill 2 more 4s here. Then this 6 and the 5, I'm going to re-roll my 6. I got another 5. Okay, so that did not help me. So at this point, I'm actually going to take the 5 that I have left, and I'm going to spend it to cancel 1 damage. I'm going to use Protective Stance. 1 potential damage that the vampire does this turn. All right. Oh, and he's doing multiple damage here. So he's got these 2, so he's going to get to do 1 damage to me, which will also heal him 1. All right. So now let's go ahead and do another attack here. All right, so I've got 1, 3, 3, 5, 5, 6. Shoot. All right, the 1 is going to do something for me there. I need 4s, not 3s. Okay, so I'm going to flip a 3 to a 4. And let's see. Oh, fantastic. Okay, I'm going to spend these 2 dice on Flurry of Blades. Spend 2 dice to add or subtract 1 from the value of 2 other dice. So I'm going to add 1 here and subtract 1 here to go there. And I've got 1 box left on the Vampire King. Okay, so he gets to attack me. And he does 1 damage, so he also heals 1. should have written a 1 here. All right, so he's going to do 1 damage here, and he's going to heal that right there, and I get to attack again. All right, so I've got this 4 here. That's going to add 1 to that. I am going to weaken enemy. I'm going to spend this 2. Oh, wow. Okay, so because I rolled a 6, he gets 3 fewer dice next turn. So I'm going to write a -3 here to remind me. And then I'm actually going to roll for healing. I rolled a 5, so that heals 2. Even though I'm doing well, that will end up factoring into my final score. All right, I'm gonna roll actually for advanced healing and wipe out that last one. So 6, 7, 8. That would be healing 4, but I only need to heal 1. And now I'm going to actually use 1 XP to do 1 damage to an enemy. So I get to fill that box. I used an XP. I get an XP for beating the boss. So I actually have defeated the Vampire King with no damage on my party, which is rare. But I was excited to be able to do that in showing you the game so that you saw how a lot of different things worked. So now I'm going to go through and score myself. So 10 points for defeating the final dungeon boss. So that's 10. 5 for each defeated non-boss monster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus that extra minion, so that's 7. So that's 35. This is probably my best game ever. So in the game that I show you, it looks super easy because I have the best game I've ever had. 1 point for each remaining health point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we're going to have a lot of counting to do here. 1 point for each unspent XP. 1, 2, 3. -2 for each monster not encountered. So I encountered every monster I came up on. And -5 for each dead party member. Obviously, I have none of those. So that's 45, 55, 63, 66. So I scored a 66, which I think is probably the highest score you can get in the game. And I did it in the video that I shot to show you how to play the game. So there's proof that it happened. Now there were, yeah. So legendary heroes, the best I've ever done is 56 in the game in a full playthrough. So somehow things just worked out just right so that I can show you the perfect score on the game. So 66 is about as good as you can get. Maybe not using an XP, you could get 67, 68, but scoring anything 56 and above is remarkable. I have only scored, like I said, 56 before. So that's the game. Hopefully you enjoyed my playthrough video, and hopefully it helped you understand how the game works and that you'll give it a shot. And hopefully you find some things in it that you like, and you can give me some feedback on what you think of the game so that I can try to make it even better.